reporting live from the liquor store, man. How y'all doing tonight? Um, hey, I know it's been stressful, but hey, we done turned the page. We are on to the Los Angeles Chargers. The Dallas Cowboys are trying to regroup because there were some injuries, so we had to bring in a new linebacker. You know, because of the Leighton Van Der Esch injury. So we got quite a bit to talk about, man, tonight. So y'all tap in with your boy. We're gonna have us about an hour of some premium Dallas Cowboy content. You know, we're gonna get in, get out. We're gonna have ourselves a good time over here in the liquor store, man. So y'all know the rules of engagement when y'all slide over here, man. First and foremost, when you enter into the chat box, make sure the first thing that you do is hit the like button, man. The more likes that we get on these videos, the more that these platforms were promoted, the more that these platforms will show love and, you know, push the content. So if you got love for your boy Henny, you want to see the content do good, you want to see the platform grow, you want to see us continue to flourish, all you got to do is hit that like button, man. Ain't gonna cost you a dime, and, you know, it goes a long way in improving the content and getting the stuff out there, man. So after you hit that like button, make sure you turn right back around and hit that share button. Because first and foremost, man, we all know that sharing is caring. Like your mama and them told y'all, they're back in the gap. But we are also trying to manifest a 6th championship for the Dallas Cowboys. And in light of recent events, they definitely need all the help, prayer, manifestation, good luck. They need all that right now. So do like my boy James Simmons and drop 6 emojis in the chat box. My boy with the 6 shot glasses. Do like my boy 434 Cowboy and drop the 6 championship trophies in there, man. And he dropped the 6 stars as well, man, so you know it's real. And also share the content 6 times, man. I know you can't like it 6 times because they ain't going to let you, but make sure you share the content 6 times, man. You can share it to 6 different social media groups, 6 different Facebook groups, 6 different group chats. It don't matter. Just make sure you share the content 6 times and help us manifest that 6th championship in the liquor store. And let me show y'all some love in the chat box, man. I see y'all slide on in here. Rich Smith, I see you. Miss So Over It, I see you. Jane Simmons, I see you. Letty, I see you. Salute to all y'all good people in the chat box showing love to the liquor store, man. I appreciate y'all for taking time out your evening to rock with your boy, man. So also, you done hit that like button. You done hit that share button. It's Chargers week, man. So y'all know the most important thing to do. I need you to slap the shit out of a Chargers fan, man. And if you slap the shit out of a Chargers fan, I will be able to give you half off on all the merchandise inside the liquor store. And you know, we got exactly what you need to succeed over here, man. We got Cowboy Readers, we got gin, we got hen, and everything else under the sun that can make you sin. So tap in with your boy, Hennythemoor, and come get drunk in the liquor store, man. Because we're going to get drunk off this content for a little bit, man. Hey, Letty, I see you. Allison Krause, I see you. Thank y'all for tapping in and showing love. So y'all done hit that like button. Y'all done hit that share button. Y'all done slapped up a Chargers fan. And I'm going to be real with y'all. I don't think there's many Charger fans in the world. I just don't believe there are many Charger fans in the world. I have never seen one. So if you can't find a Charger fan, you know, you can slap the shit out of Kellen Moore. Right? We know that he the op this week. He the big op. He top op. He gonna come in here and try to put on a show, show why he should have still been with the Dallas Cowboys, all the other mess. So if you can't find a Chargers fan, man, make sure you slap the shit out of Kellen Moore. He's easy to find. He about yay high, left-handed dude. Just cock back and slap shit out of Kellen Moore if you can't find a Chargers fan. So you done hit that like button, you done hit that share button, you done hit Kellen Moore or a rare Charger fan if you done found him. Then I need you to turn right back around, man, and hit that cash app or that super chat, man. Because we are still raffling away multiple prizes in the liquor store. I say multiple, there's 3 of them. It's a quadruple. It's a triple threat. So right now, man, we have a Dallas Cowboy jersey we'll be raffling away, a copy of Madden 24. And then listen, the Dallas Cowboys can't win. In real life, you can jump on Madden, get the Cowboys, and win your game. So when we have times like this, we can jump on the game and show the Dallas Cowboys how to do it. And then we're also raffling away a Dallas Cowboys bobblehead, man. So it's $5 to enter. If you want to participate, all you got to do is hit the cash app. It's $ Hennythemoor, or you can hit the super chats or the super stickers since we are monetized. Hey, what's up, Neil? My boy Neil, the serial slapper in the building. He said, "Hey, slapped up all 4 Chargers fans before checking." Yeah, you ain't lying, man. Hey, Tariq, you know some Chargers fans, man? I ain't never met no damn Chargers fan, bro. It might be where I live, right? It might be because of where I live, but I ain't never met no Chargers fan, man. Like a Chargers fan is something I did not know existed. So that's crazy, but hey, I'm glad that you found one. I'm glad that you found one. So, hey, what's up with y'all, man? I see you, Thomas A. Garrett. Salute to y'all good folks for sliding in and showing love to the liquor store, man. Salute to y'all, man. All right, but let's talk about it, though, man, because the Dallas Cowboys brought in a multitude of linebackers to try and help. We all know that Leighton Vander Esch is 9 times out of 10 going to end up on the IR. He got a neck injury for the upteenth time. You know, he has chronic neck injuries. You know, that's why he wears that big old, that big old neck brace when he plays football. So he has a neck injury. He's going to miss a lot of time. And so the Dallas Cowboys are in need of a linebacker. So surprisingly, instead of saying, hey, we like our guys, we're going to run Mikael Jones out there, we're going to run Malik Jefferson out there, the Dallas Cowboys actually brought in some guys to work out and try to fill that position. So this is how it started, right? They brought in multiple linebackers. They brought in Tanner Vallejo. They brought in Brandon Smith, who was a 4th-round pick just last year out of Penn State, Michael Parsons' alma mater, and they brought in Jordan Evans as well. So, but the big name that they brought in was former 1st-round pick Rashaan Evans. Hey, what's up, Jay Recruiter? I see you. So as may happen, you know, we kept them. They did a physical. He's going to sign with the practice squad 9 times out of 10. Right? They say the only way that this does not happen is if he fails his physical, if something's wrong, you know. But barring something catastrophic, Rashaan Evans is going to be a Dallas Cowboy, and I actually like the move. Now, granted, he's a former 1st-round pick, and he's already on his 3rd team. He's already on his 4th team, actually, because he got drafted by the Titans. He went to Atlanta for a season. He signed with Philly this offseason, and then they cut him, so he ended up back a free agent. And then we signed him. So he's already on his 4th team, former 1st-round pick. So I'm not saying that he is going to come in here and be Luke Kuechly, but, you know, the boy got some talent. He's a prospect out of Alabama. Danny Savage said he's a bad sign. He said draft weekend was the time to get a thumper. Not now, especially round 2 instead of schoolmate. Oh. Yeah. And listen, he played on 2 of the Alabama National Championship teams. He was a 1st-round pick by the Tennessee Titans. He actually, you know, what's really ironic about it, we brought him in to help with Leighton Vander Esch's injury, and he was actually drafted in the same draft class as Leighton Vander Esch. Right, he was actually drafted in the same draft class as Leighton Vander Esch. So this is a linebacker that we probably looked at. He became available, so we kicked the tires on him. But let's go ahead and pull up some statistics, some overall stats, and, you know, some different stuff about Rashaan Evans, because I don't know. I don't know the young man like that. But, you know, I know he played at Alabama. I know that his last season with the Atlanta Falcons. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at Rashaan Evans, his statistics, and let's see what we really think about the boy. All right, so let me get his PFF stuff pulled up. We're going to start there, see how he graded out, see if we can trust the boy. Because listen, I don't expect him to come in here and save the world, but, you know, I'm just trying to see what I can get out of him. What's up with you, man? Young and 2 times. Cassius said J-Run is not the same. He's had some struggles this year. We'll just have to see how it ends up panning out. Yo, what's up with you, Desmond? Hey, Cole Cowboy, what's up with you, man? He said, remember, we was iffy about Curse and we revived his career. Same as Fowler. Don't doubt him yet. I ain't gonna doubt him yet because, you know, I'm just now looking at him. I don't know the kid to doubt him. But that's why we usually do the research while we're on the show. I want to form my opinion with y'all. Just look at the raw numbers, because listen, I ain't looked at nothing on the board before we got up on here. I was at work all day, so I really didn't have time to do no leg work or no research on who this kid is or what he brings to the table. I know that he's a run stuffing linebacker. I know that he struggles in coverage, and I know he's a willing tackler. That's about all I know about him. Now, at face value, his grades aren't great. But, like I always say, when you use PFF, also use it in, combination with film study. Also use that in combination with regular statistics. Because they're saying, like, hey, he didn't grade out too good defensively. He was only at 59.6. He was only at 62.5 as a run defender. But when you look at it, man, the man, had a bunch of tackles. He had a bunch of tackles. According to PFF, he had 110 tackles. The NFL actually has him at 159 total tackles. But, like I said, you never take all this stuff at face value. You got to look at the official numbers as well. So he had over 100 tackles. He had 2 sacks. He did not give up a touchdown in coverage, even though he gave up some yardage. So, he had a very solid season with the Atlanta Falcons. If I say so myself, he played over 1,100 snaps, defended the run 479 times. He had to fall back in coverage 545. Still graded out great as a tackler. Still graded out pretty good as a pass rusher, because that's the pass rush grade right here is a 66.5. So he didn't do a overall bad job in my opinion. Now, I don't think that he I don't think that he is like the future of the Dallas Cowboys linebacker position, but he ain't got to be. He just got to be somebody that can come in, help us in the run defense, help us not miss Leighton Vander Esch in that regard, be a warm body. And, that's really all I can ask for the young man at this point. Anybody that's available right now is not, is not a future Hall of Famer, not an All-Pro or anything like that. But what they can be is somebody that can come in, give you some very quality snaps, give you a veteran body, give you somebody with some pedigree. So, yeah, exactly. He said compare his numbers to Leighton Vander Esch. I'm pretty sure his numbers are better than Leighton Vander Esch. Because listen, Leighton Vander Esch misses time, so Leighton Vander Esch numbers can never be better than somebody that doesn't miss games. Like, this man just played 1,104 snaps last year. LVE missed multiple games last season, so I know for a fact. And listen, I ain't gotta look at it. I think Leighton Vander Esch only had like 80-something total tackles last year. And if I'm not mistaken, if we look at the NFL numbers, this man got 159 tackles last year. Matter of fact, let's look at the official NFL numbers. Let's look at his official numbers, because like PFF be a little shiesty. They got different ways that they give tackles out. They got different ways that they denote who was in coverage and yardage and all kinds of stuff. So the official NFL numbers, right? The official NFL numbers said this man, let me see, where's his tackles? Oh, that's defense. I gotta go a little bit further down to see. Oh, there we go, tackles. Yeah, this man had 159 total tackles last year. Hold on. Yeah, let me get this pulled up real quick so y'all can see this. What does it say? The Eagles not wanting him? The Eagles really like their linebackers? Or it could also say that they didn't evaluate their talent well. Right? It could be multiple things. It could be a scheme fit thing. It could be, they trust their other linebackers. It could be a multitude of different things. But at face value, the man had 2 sacks last year, 159 total tackles. 86 of them were solo, 6 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hits. He didn't have a bad season at all, in my opinion. Like, and listen, this is me without the film. This is me without anything other than the raw numbers. What's up with your iceberg, Slim? Yeah, listen, I think Dak, had a bad game, but it's not about, it's not about failing. It's about how you bounce back from it. He had a dud, but we can rebuild our momentum, move to 4-2, and if he goes out there have a good offensive game, that's a long way. That's a long way towards what we want to be in the future, right? So I know we had an ugly loss, but he only had one pick, 4 touchdowns, and was completing 70% of his passes before the San Fran game, right? So before the San Fran game, he was having a very efficient season. I believe that will, continue on. And another thing, I wanted to point out, we don't play another top 10 defense until December. Like the current 10 teams are in the top 10 in scoring defense. We don't play a single one of them until we play the Buffalo Bills. The Eagles defense is currently outside of the top 10. Like that's probably the best defense that we're going to play for quite some time. And they're like 13, 14. They're not a top 10 defense right now. They have question marks and everything else. So we're not going to play another complete team like the 49ers the rest of the season, honestly, because I don't think there's another team on the level of the 49ers that we're going to play this year. So the Dallas Cowboys and the offense should be able to get on track in the upcoming weeks just based on their schedule, based on the kind of defenses they're going to be playing, and just flat out, I don't think that we'll play another team with the caliber of the 49ers anytime soon. I know it was very jarring seeing how overmatched we was against a team that we expect to be competitive against, but we're still a good team. The 49ers are just that good. Yeah, I saw that. I saw he had got cut. He said it's crazy we let Harper just go in need of a linebacker. And it usually works like that. When you let guys walk out of the building at a position, it like I don't know if it's cosmic or anything like that, but you like stuff like that tends to happen. I mean, I'm not being facetious. All I said, we do not play another top 10 defense, until December. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not making fun of the Eagles. I'm just looking at the current standings. Like nobody that we play is in the top 10 right now. Said Dallas front office is a joke. Yo, what's up with your money, Connor? I see you tapping in, showing love, man. Yeah, Freight Train. I saw exactly what Kurt Warner and them said. They actually gave a fair analysis. They gave some fair critiques, some fair analysis. Well, my English is butchered this today. But yeah, man. He said, you see Philly O-line gashing the. They ain't got nothing to do with what I'm talking about, though. I said we don't play another top 10 defense. Their offense might do that. But in terms of our offense against their defense, like, no. Like, we don't play another top 10 defense until the Buffalo Bills. Matter of fact, I'm just going to show my work. Because, I'm not making fun of anybody. I'm just talking about current standings and things like that. NFL scoring defenses 2023. So here we go. Yo, what's up with you, Keystone? I see you. All right. So these are the defenses. San Fran, Cleveland, Baltimore, New Orleans, Kansas City, the Bills, the Cowboys, the Buccaneers, Tennessee, and Atlanta. Those are the top 10 current defenses in the NFL. Philly 13th. I'm not showing shade at them. I'm just saying we're not going up against the top 10 defense anytime soon. Philly's 13th. Their defense is right in line with the New York Jets defense. Like they're like 0.2 points different than the New York Jets defense that we scored 30 points on. Right, so Philly defense is there. The Chargers defense is 24th. The Rams defense. Where's the Rams defense? We played them next. We played them after we played the Chargers. Ram defense is middle of the pack. So we don't play an elite defense with all pros at every level anytime soon. I mean, yeah, every team gonna bring their A game, but the Dallas Cowboys just got to match intensity. Yo, tell me Montoya, what's up with you, man? The Cards smacked us, but we ain't gonna sit here and act like we're gonna get upset every year. Yeah, that is the points allowed defense ranking. That is the points allowed defensive ranking right there. So that's what I'm going off of, points allowed, how I got it ordered. I know a lot of y'all throwing out the Cardinals want a good defense, but hell, I do not expect us to lose to every bad defense. I know y'all keep throwing that out there, but what's the odds of you getting upset by every bad defense you play? Now, come on now. We got to knock it off. We had one stumble against the Cardinals, and now everybody, acting like we can't put up points. We put up 30 on the Jets. He said Rams game, I think, going to be a lot closer than people think. I don't think the Rams are a bad team. I just think that they haven't finished. I just don't think that they haven't finished a lot of games out the way they should. They're not a bad team. Yeah, I don't foresee it. We get one. I'm not gonna sit here. He said Cowboys are missing 3 linemen against the Cardinals, which is very true. Chargers don't even have a home field advantage. There are going to be more Dallas Cowboy fans there for the Chargers than it just like it was when we played them in 2021. There are more Dallas Cowboy fans in Los Angeles than there are Chargers fans. That's why they don't really have a real home field advantage. Like when you go to a Chargers when you see a Chargers game, you see mostly the other team jersey in the stand. They don't have a real strong fan base. Like when they were like a cult, when they had like a cult following when they were in San Diego, right? But they're a little brother. They're a little brother in Los Angeles, man. Yeah, the city of Los Angeles Cowboys country. So I'm not poking my chest out. We just lost by 32 points. I am very humble right now. I'm not poking my chest out on any team. I'm not trying to sleep over any team. But what I am trying to tell you is you still have a very good team and you have some very favorable matchups, going down the road. Like you're favored against the Chargers for a reason. Right? You're favored against the Chargers for a reason. Like they have one of the worst defenses in the National Football League somehow. Cause I don't understand how you got Joey Bosa, Khalil Mack, Derwin James, Asante Samuel Jr. and everybody else, and you're that bad. Like I don't understand how you're that bad. Yeah. Hey, what's up with you, Michael Nelson? Evans is good enough for what we're asking him to do. Michael Nelson, Evans is good enough for what we're asking him to do, and they are saying yay that they are gonna bring him on into the fold. So he's a run stopping linebacker. I'm curious to see how Jay Recruiter, I know, man. Listen, we can say what we want about them in LA, but that was probably one of the best football atmospheres when they were playing in San Diego. When they played in San Diego, I know it was a small stadium, but they packed that mug out. I don't know if he's smart enough. And really, it's not about his smarts. Is really going to be about our ability to get him acclimated to our scheme. Honestly, like, can we give him enough? Iceberg, we ain't hearing none of that. We ain't hearing none of that. But what we is not going to do is tuck our tails and run because we met some adversity. King G, what's up with you, man? JV, what's Gucci, my boy? They were tapping in, showing love. And hey, everybody sliding into the liquor store, man. Y'all make sure y'all hit that like button on the way in. Make sure y'all hit that share button on the way in. And make sure you find one of the rare Charger fans out there and slap the shit out of them. Because right now, I got 59 folks in this chat box with me. I only got 39 likes. So the 20 folks that ain't hit that like button yet, hit that like button. If you ain't hit that share button yet, hit that share button. If you ain't slapped the shit out of a Chargers fan or Kellen Moore, make sure you do that. And if you ain't hit that Cash App or that Super Chat, because we're still raffling away Madden 24, a jersey, and a Dallas Cowboys bobblehead, make sure you hit that Cash App or that Super Chat. It's $5 per raffle entry. He said, I hope that they play Parsons at middle linebacker. Yo, John McSwain, what's up with you, man? Thank you for tapping in. Oh, it's all good, Chris. What's up with your night out Cowboys? Danny said he only met one Chargers fan in his life in 50 years. Woo. But yeah, man. But that is another question. But he did go through training camp. He went through training camp and everything else. So, I would hope that he's in game shape right now. Because you definitely need the boy. You definitely need a body. And if he can't play, right, if he's not ready to play, or they don't feel they can get him acclimated in time to make an appearance, then your options are, like you said, move Michael Parsons to the middle linebacker position. Either have Fowler or Sam Williams or DA start opposite of DeMarcus Lawrence, and you just rock like that. And really, man, I'm with the way that teams have attacked Michael Parsons in the run game, with him being attached to the defensive line, I am not opposed to him getting a little bit more play, at the linebacker position. That might help him in the long run, and you just give him situational pass rushing obligations. Darnell said, I'm good with 10 to 15 snaps for him this week. And that is another thing we also got to that's another thing we also got to remember. Hey, salute to my boy Freight Train for the $10 Cash App, man. They got you 2 raffle entries, by the way, man. I appreciate you for coming in and showing love, my guy. He said Malik Jefferson that bad. He ain't that bad. But he's not this person that I'm trying to throw out there and have him dependent on my season, man. Yo, what's up with you, Chase? Chase Dub, what's Gucci with y'all, man? Yeah, Evans was a first rounder for a reason. All right, there was some potential, there was some skill there. It hasn't really panned out, but I don't really know his coaching situation. I don't know what scheme they put him in Tennessee. I don't know what system he played in. I don't know who was teaching him the game. Right? So he has some pedigree. He played on the championship team in college, 2 of them, by the way. Was an All-American. Now he has a good pedigree and a good background. Now, can Dan Quinn get the most out of him? That's what your job is as a defensive coordinator. That's what your job is as a defensive coordinator. He said Ryan Leaf was the first rounder. Yeah, but he also was on heavy drugs. Iceberg Slim, what you want to bet on the game on the game Monday? Because you said we can bet that the Dallas Cowboys will not win Monday against the Chargers. So what's your friendly wager, my brother? Because you are a Cowboys fan. I'm not going to take you to the cleaners. So let's just put 5 on it because I got love. No, 6 for manifestation. Let's put $6 on it for manifestation, my brother. What you say? He said, we usually hit on first round pickups. We usually do. Yeah, I have no doubts about Dak Prescott to get the Chargers. You know, I'm not really sure what's the issue is with them. But, you know, we should have our full complementary of offensive linemen again for only the second time. They looked at a lot of tape about how the 49ers played us defensively. They stayed in a lot of cover one. I do not really expect that. I don't really expect that this week. I don't think that they have the secondary to go single high safety and play the Dallas Cowboys like that all night. So I don't see them going out with the same defensive game plan. Right, because they said that they played so much man-to-man coverage that they threw off what they were trying to do. They didn't expect them to play so much man-to-man. Now, and that is one thing that sort of bothered me. We did not really adjust to it. We came in here expecting some more zone coverage. They played man-to-man. Once we saw that we're staying in the man-to-man, we did not really take advantage of it schematically. Right? We saw the one big play to Kevontae Turpin, you know, against man coverage, and we didn't really see another big a big play after that. So I didn't really like the way that we attacked the man coverage myself, but you know, the Charger, a too high safety team, that's even better for us. That's even better for us. Because we run plenty of concepts that work great against too high safety looks, especially if they're staying in Tampa too. So like we definitely have some plays for that. Yeah, and Mike Williams is injured, by the way. Mike Williams is hurt. He will not be available for this game. He's gone for the season. So the two primary wide receivers for them this game, it will be Keenan Allen, and will also be what's that boy, Quentin Johnston. Said Cole, yeah, he's out. That is one thing that is another thing that bothers me too, though, Trey, that they're not attacking the middle of the field. I know people point out that a lot of interceptions and miscues happen over the middle of the field, but that's also where a bunch of Dak Prescott's chunk plays, a bunch of his touchdowns came over the deep middle of the field. So I do believe that they should go out there and, you know, attempt to attack the middle of the field, especially if they stay in a too high safety look, because that is the vulnerability of that defense. Deep middle is the vulnerability of a too high safety look. That's middle field open. And literally that's what it means. The middle of the field is open. You should throw there. So you should run some dagger. You should try to get some post routes out there. You should do what you can to stress out the middle of that defense if they're going to sit in too high safeties all day. And if they're going to sit in too high safety all day, that also means that you will be playing against a light box and that you will have the ability to run the football. Right, so listen. So if they are going to sit out there in too high safety, I think the Dallas Cowboys offense is going to cook. You can't really stop the run if you're going to sit in too high. You can't really defend the middle of the field. You're going to sit in too high. You're definitely giving you're definitely giving helps on the boundary. You know, but deep middle run defense. If they sit in that, it's not going to be pretty. But, you know, those are all things I expect us to do anyway, though. No, those are things that we should have been doing. Implementing more motion, giving Dak Prescott some more backside options on these play progressions. Attacking the deep middle of the field. Supporting him with a run game. Right? These are things that we should have been doing anyway, because that's winning football. That is winning football. So hopefully the Dallas Cowboys can get their stuff together. I still believe in them. They're ranked 9th in red zone defense. Then hell, let's try and score some big plays. But their secondary is not that good. Outside of Asante Samuel Jr. Right, outside of Asante Samuel Jr., I'm not too concerned about their secondary. He's a good player. He is a great player. But the J.C. Jackson signing didn't work, so they traded him back to New England. So I'm not really sure if they got the secondary to hang with us. Hell, the 49ers didn't have the secondary to hang with us. We just didn't take advantage of it. Yeah, Zaytoven. It could be a nuclear meltdown if we lose this game. Right? Because listen, at the end of the day, this is a must-win game for the Dallas Cowboys. Because I promise you, being 4-2 is completely different than being 3-3 going to the bye. You will be on a 2-game losing streak, something that has not happened in a long time. But you'll be on a 2-game losing streak. You would have lost to 2 decent teams. That's not the right way to go. Yeah, and listen, they play, and they were very disrespectful to our wide receivers and our quarterback the way they played this last game. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like they were able to hold up against our wide receivers, going man to man across the board. Yeah, Ward, I like Ward. He used to be here. Travarius Ward used to be a Dallas Cowboy until we got rid of him for a bag of chips. But he's one of the better cover corners in the NFL. But outside of him, I don't really respect those other cornerbacks they got. CeeDee Lamb should have went for $150. CeeDee Lamb should have went for $150. Man, we got rid of that man for some coffee beans. We didn't even get a cup of coffee. Like we got like 3 coffee beans, and we couldn't even use them. Like they were a little old. They were a little old. They wasn't gonna taste good. We had to throw them out. We let go of that man for nothing, basically, and he turned to what he turned into. Same way, right? We had Michael Jackson, right? We remember we drafted Michael Jackson. He went somewhere else and developed and became a pretty solid defensive back. I mean, we should respect them now, but like that should not have been what it was. Because man, they were not a good secondary, and they still not a good secondary. Right? They did their thing, but man, that's more on us. Like we messed up. Yeah, Steele played bad. Steele allowed 8 pressures, and he graded out as an 8. And this is not on a scale of 1 to 10, grading out as an 8. He graded out as an 8 in like a regular grading scale. It goes up to like 9 into the 90s. He graded out as an 8 in pass protection. So yeah, Steele didn't have a good night. So what I hope is, yeah, bro, Isaiah Oliver is horrible. I mean, still gonna be facing another Bosa again today. Is that an excuse? Every time he play a decent pass rush, we gotta disrespect him and get his ass kicked. Is that the standard? Every time you play a decent person, you gonna get your ass whooped. He played his brother. This week. So they lined his brother up, and really, like Trey Fargo, you actually just said something. Because listen, Steele is either going to play Khalil Mack or he's going to play Joey Bosa. So I just want y'all to know, Terrence Steele probably get his ass kicked again this week. So we probably need to run the ball and utilize some play action and not even worry about that matchup. We need to run the ball and do what we need to do. He said Joey got whooped by Steele last year. They ain't played last year. That was like in 2021, but I know what you're talking about. What's up with you, King G? So we gonna see, man. Hey, salute to Daisy Clark for the $5 super. I appreciate you for showing love to the liquor store. And that got you a raffle entry too, by the way. So thank you for supporting and showing love. I appreciate that. And listen, they talked about it. You know, I'm sure that CeeDee Lamb is frustrated. But y'all do understand we're 3-2 and not 2-3. They're not going to turn on Dak Prescott off of one game. They're just not. They like him as a person. They like him as a leader. They like him as a man. They're not turning on Dak Prescott off of one game. Like CeeDee Lamb is frustrated about targets because he's trying to get a bag. That is it. But you know, outside of that, you know, I still believe in this team. Iceberg, you still ain't said if you're going to bet on the game or not. Or will you bet $6 on against the Dallas Cowboys? I just want to know. You don't feel like we'll win. I feel like we will win. I want to test your conviction, my brother. Will you bet $6 with your boy Henny? Let me know something. Yeah, like I said, I'm sure he'll be fine this week. And Mike McCarthy said he had a long conversation with CeeDee Lamb, so I do expect him to get more targets. He may not get as many targets as we believe he should get, but I expect for CeeDee Lamb to have a good game. I expect for him to have a good game this week. I highly doubt that he's 100% either. But you know, like when you sit here and you talk about game planning, we all know that Terrence Steele is not the best pass blocker anyway. Like how he made his money was run blocking. He one of the most dominant run blocking right tackles in the National Football League. So if you believe that Terrence Steele is going to go up against a very good pass rusher, give him some support. Let the running back chip. Put a tight end on his side. Run the ball more. Utilize some more play action. Right? There are ways to mitigate pass rushes. Because we seen what happened with Micah Parsons. Like, some of the things that they do against us, we need to do against other teams, man. Yo, what's up with your Cowboy J, UGA 3? He said, I want to see Cowboys running seam routes as well as Jalen. I feel that. And yeah, and listen, we cannot expect for us to change everything. We changed our offensive play caller. We changed our offensive coordinator. We changed our system. And we're ready to give up on the season after 5 games. We're 3-2. It's not perfect. It hasn't been perfect. But I can definitely see this offense improving over the course of the season. I can see this offense improving over the course of the season. It's not a guarantee, but you know, more times than not, that's usually how it works, right? Because we talk about playing your football your best football at the right time. Well, I would rather be playing good football in December, January, February than October. I don't want to peak in October no damn way. So let them get it together. They got time. Yeah, I saw that, and they did a Iceberg. You can listen, Iceberg. I love you. You my boy, but you can coward in the corner by yourself. We don't need that scary energy. We don't need no scary energy. said, we will win this game. We don't lose back-to-back since we let Dez go under deck. The offense will get better. We just have to establish a solid running game, and we will start scoring more. I agree. Can't do a lot of good play action in the shotgun. The Rams and 49ers killed us with tight formations and motion chipping every play. I agree with that. I agree with a lion's share of everything that y'all said. Dallas Cowboys just got to make some alterations to the game plan. Matter of fact, I actually going to go ahead and play some of the things that were said by the Dallas Cowboys, because I really don't need to hear from nobody but the culprits. The only people I need to hear from is the culprits of what happened. So I need to listen to the people in charge, because if the players didn't play good, that's still on the coaches, because that's your job, as a offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator or a head coach, to get your players playing good. And since nobody on the offense really played good, nobody on the defense really played good, I would rather hear, from the architects from that. What's up with you, Columbus Hill? I see you. I see you, my boy. So who y'all want to hear from first, man? Y'all trying to hear what Dan Quinn had to say? Y'all want to hear what Brian Schottenheimer had to say? Which one of these folks you want to hear from first, man? You want to hear from Dan Quinn? You want to hear from really want to hear from the offense mastermind? You want to hear from the defense? It's y'all choice, man. You can put it in the chat. Which one y'all prefer to hear? You want to hear from Dan? Okay. It'll be all right. I just want to see what their mindset is, man. I want to see what these boys' mindset is. We lay the egg. I want to see what they got to say about the shit. I really ain't listening to none of this stuff either. But I do got to know the mindset around the team right now, since everybody believe that we're having a catastrophic meltdown, and that we're finna fall off the rails. I just want to see how they real game like, man.
I'm bummed, and very much wanted that game for the players, and it certainly didn't go that way for us. And when you get your ass kicked, you really got a couple of choices in a fight. You pout about it, or you get back up and you say bring it on, and you get rocking again. And I certainly know that's what we're going to do. There's no finger pointing with our group. In fact, you see the fingers pointing in the direction that we need to do. Hey, let's work this, let's work that. And I admire that about our group. I've been on the teams where it goes the other way, where there's finger pointing and blame, and that's certainly not this group. So we're extremely disappointed, but I also know what we're made of, and we're not going to let this game beat us twice. We got a very good Charger team on the way, and we'll get right back. We got plenty of things to work on and get ready to get rocking again. But certainly bummed, and certainly wanted a really good kick-ass performance for the guys, and it didn't go that way. So open up to you guys and get started.
And David Moore, Dallas Morning News. A lot of the players talked about one of the goals this year to be that elite defense was the consistency that you had to do a week in and a week out. Is that one of the more discouraging things, or is that the element that's kind of lagging over these first 5 weeks? If you could point to one thing, or is it more specific?
Boy, that's a good question, David. About one thing, I think if it's usually one thing, it's okay, we're going to get that right there. So, we had 3 performances that we'd be really proud of, and 2 that we're not. And as it goes, I think you're right to say every time you go, you got to get it on at this level. And when we do that, we're pretty hard to deal with. But, we only knocked one ball out, and I thought Jordan made a fantastic play to get that. But part of our style is creating takeaways and using that speed and creating some energy-generating plays. And in that game, we just didn't create enough of those to, what was needed in that game. And thought we had a couple of third downs that got negated by some fouls. And those are, kind of the plays I'm talking about, where you get a good stop and you get another one to go. And when those don't happen, it hurts. And we wanted to certainly play a longer third down game. I think we had 7 of them that were at 1 and 2, and under 4 yards, and then another 7 that were 4 or more. So I think on the ones that were low, we were 2 win and 5 loss, and the ones that were higher were 5 win and 2 loss. And so I thought that was a real factor in this game, and knowing that we have to create some longer ones, and we only did that about half the time.
Clarence Hill, Fort Worth Telegram. What were they doing to confuse your defense or your players to get Kittle so open on all those touchdowns?
Yeah, I thought what a great design on the one after the turn with a long one to Kittle down in the end zone. That was a good play, showing like he's blocking, had a reverse come out to kind of distract your eyes, and then throw the ball after that one. So I thought good design on that one. Past that one was in a man-to-man, so it wasn't a play design that got us jammed up onto that. But that's kind of part of their offense, to make sure there's a shift and a motion to go to try to get you into some looks that are challenging and difficult. But as far as that one play on the long touchdown, that was certainly one that was a good play.
Were they taking advantage of your aggressiveness?
Well, that's a good question. I would say, I don't know if they would take advantage of our aggressiveness. Like usually the sign of that, Clarence, would be like a double move. Say, okay, I'm down, I'm biting to go, and we've certainly seen that, some in the past. Oftentimes you see it like on a screen, they got one long one on a screen on a long yards. Those are plays that kind of, okay, if you want the front to rush, go rush, we're going to throw a screen. Or you want to jump on a route, we're going to throw a double move. So I thought in this function, it was probably more an example of, not necessarily taking advantage of being aggressive, but, working our eye discipline. I think that there's probably a difference there.
Dan Tarcher with ESPN. You only had the one sack in the game.
Yep.
Did you not think you were able to impact or affect Purdy enough, even when you had those third and long situations?
Yeah, I totally agree, David. And I mean, as you're going through, Todd, to go the spaces to create some energy-generating plays, and getting a big one, knock. We thought we'd have a chance to knock a few ball downs. Thought Hankins did a good job with that, but not getting enough dropbacks and bites at the apple. I think some of that also ties into being a little bit thirder and longer, than those 1s and 2s that are generally going to be runs and play passes that come out of that. So I think, in our next lap at them, we've got to make sure we get that done.
Thought.
Side the Athletic again. Last couple of weeks we've talked about backup quarterbacks, intel and stuff like that. For you now going against Kellen this week, what do you kind of know about him, his tendencies, and how much can that help you the last couple of years being together?
Like he knows what I know that you know that I know that? Yeah, okay. So, I think, there's probably some gamesmanship that goes back and forth, and as coaches we probably think too much of it. Because at the end of it, it'll certainly be about the guys and our ability to execute. But I think, wouldn't say both teams know each other well. Certainly Kellen and I do, just from a scheme and matchup standpoint of where we'll go. So there'll be definitely some gamesmanship back and forth as it goes. But by and large, it's still about the matchups and the guys and us getting ready to really, play like we want, get the energy generating plays that kind of defines us, and not as much about Kellen or I.
Leighton, obviously, TBD on his whole situation, but when you look at the way that your safeties play and how much can that help in terms of your linebacker depth? We saw Bell make that transition after training camp, and just how do you look at your linebacker situation? Yeah,
so let's all keep our fingers crossed for Leighton. He's such a warrior, and I thought a number of guys I thought played, to the level that we'd like to see, and Leighton was one of those. He's super consistent. He's kind of always thinking. He's always ahead of the play. And so we'll just have to wait, like I said, till the test and we get a better feel for that. But like all things, we hate that injuries are part of things, and because there's like a guy behind that injury, so I don't even want to think about, where it is and what it is. But we also know there's going to be parts that challenge us through the year. And that's not just on our team, that's on every team. And so that's why you better have a big, deep crew that can roll and be able to make adjustments. And if we have to do that, we certainly will. But we'll wait and see what the prognosis, looks like. But you better have a big big crew, because in this game there's going to be injuries, there's going to be things that set you back, and when they happen, you better be ready. And I think a great example of that is Bell, saying, all right, we knew that was a big loss with Demo going down. I thought Bell's really answered that challenge.
Calvin.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. Mikey gets a lot of attention, obviously, and you move him around. How would you evaluate him last night? I think they said he had one QB pressure, which is unlike him, because he's usually getting about 4 or 5.
Yeah, I thought for sure. And that's, I thought over the last couple games, they were, trying to make some adjustments between them and New England both to say, this player, isn't going to be the one, and we got to make sure not only do we move him, but that other guy step up too when those moments happen to say, all right, if there's going to be attention over to Calvin, then Dan, you got to make this play. That's how it's got to go down. So there's plenty of things, when I go back and look at the tape last night and again this morning to make sure that we're making our plays and doing those. I fully anticipate that being back to our style in the way that we do it. But yeah, it's hard when all the attention goes to one space. You have to be really ready to attack in another way.
Hey, Dan, Patrick Walker, Dallas Cowboys.com. Kind of circling back to LVE. In the event he does miss time, I mean, this is a run defense that is mostly upgraded, but 2 of the last 3 games kind of taking a step back, but LVE has consistently been one of the key guys in helping to stop the
No
run.
doubt.
How would you supplement his loss in that aspect?
Yeah, it's like I said, it's a challenge. And, certainly Damone, stepping up and having a big piece of that to go. And we'll have others that will have to do that, including Micah, to be into that space. But as it goes, we'll take a look and see where the week goes. But, that's one that we'll have to consider for sure.
Scott.
Skyler Dixon with BAP. You guys have had fast starts defensively, obviously, all season. How do you kind of address or look at a rough start in a big game like that? Just look at that kind of a one-off, or is there some things you feel like you have to address with the guys?
I hope so. I think, when you have some penalties on the first drive, that, certainly contributes to it. So we had an offsides, we had a face mask, and so when you get the ability to extend some plays, that's, something that you don't want. And quite honestly, if they get down, you just, even when you get down to the red zone, man, you got to kick a field goal into that space. And so when those happen and they get down the red zone, man, you got to stop them at the gate and make sure we can play really, rock solid red zone. So the fact that we didn't yesterday bothers me, and we'll certainly spend plenty of time on that spot. But yeah, as it goes on the first drive, if you get a penalty or something that can extend a drive, that'll certainly set you back.
Nick Harris, DallasCowboys.com. The San Francisco offense, it felt like in the second half they found another gear to be able to attack the pass game specifically. But one moment comes to mind when they converted on a long 3rd down, holding penalty moved them back, and then they were still able to convert about 20 yards downfield. Did they find anything, do you feel like, in the second half, or was it kind of the same problems as the first?
No, I would say the passing game, obviously hurt us, last night with the explosive passes, the big ones to go, because going into it, we really thought, man, McCaffrey has really been on it in the running game, et cetera, and all the big plays that have taken place with him in the running game. So I thought the guys did a good job knowing that he was going to be the focal point. So to see some of the big passing plays, and especially the one that you're talking about, the 3rd down one, I thought that was one that really hurt. To have a 3rd and 15 and convert not only for 15, but, extended past that, that one hurt for sure. And, in those times you're kind of, is it going to be this play or this play? And, they've been a good screen game, and you've seen Debo and Christian both work guys on screen. So you're thinking of that space, and they rip one down the middle. So, tip my hat to them on that one.
Dave Loffberg, Cowboys Radio. Dan, so they end up, they have 171 rushing yards, but 41 attempts, so
Right.
And McCaffrey was 20 carries, under 3 yards a carry. So when you look at the totality of the run defense, what was your evaluation of it?
I didn't like the big, touchdown run, obviously, on the one where Leighton was injured. But I thought going into it, a couple of times the run just felt a little too long. The 3-yard run that needed to stay 3, and it got into 5 or it got into 6. And I think those created some of those 3rd and 1s and 3rd and 2s. And I really thought we need this thing to be 3rd and 4, 5, 6, 7. And so although the numbers, with McCaffrey running may have not seemed a lot, some of those ones may have had a TFL on one, all right, and then it went to 2nd and 4 on some others. So I thought that part, I wasn't as pleased with the byproduct of getting to all the 3rd downs. I think we spoke here last week about, I think in the Arizona game, they may have only had 5 3rd downs. They were kind of being that efficient on the early downs. So we thought we got to get them into 3rds and we got to push them to that spot. Well, we did. We had 14 or 15 of them that we had our ops to do that, but just more of them lower than I would have liked. to have that many in the 1 and 2 neighborhood as opposed to 4, 5, 6, where it kind of takes out some of the, run aspect of some of those short yardage ones. So I thought that was one of the factors in it. Although I wasn't discouraged in the run game, I didn't like a little bit like a paper cut, still bleeding, still too much for me, because they had 2 drives that went, double digits. So we got to get them off the field, and having those longer third downs I thought would have been a real factor in that. So all things in the next matchup that we got to nail.
Michael Galkin, Dallas Morning News. With Micah's ability to have more off-ball reps with the late situation?
Yeah, potentially.
Potentially.
Yep.
What does he bring in that respect? Because obviously you've seen him a lot this past couple of years as more of an edge end type guy, but from that standpoint, what does that profile offer?
Yeah, I would say, like for a team like yesterday, there might have been a toss play out. I think it was to the defensive left. And you see some of his speed go, basically matching the speed of the running back, to the edge. So that's one of the things that you feel from him. He's got ability, in coverage to really break in some zones because of the quickness that he can go from, 0 to 60 really fast. And then from off the ball as a blitzer, are you going to count him as a linebacker or count him as a D lineman? And, where do you match up on that? So those are some of the advantages that you get. The disadvantages on some of the passes that you're obviously dropping in where you got some chances to rush, you don't get it. So that's kind of the balance that I'll have to face and work through.
Todd.
Dan, after these 2 road games, are you still trying to figure out what you guys are defensively because of the variances and showing in the 3 games been so good and then the 2 not what you wanted?
I didn't tie it into the road. I think our opener we did pretty good. And that was on the road, I'm pretty sure. So that one I don't feel as jacked up about or anything. Honestly, I loved our preparation and mindset, and so that's why it was, I was so disappointed for the guys, when you get your ass kicked, to say a lot of things to look back at, but going in and thinking, we wouldn't perform well in the red zone or get some moments like that surprised me.
When you're not coming up with the turnovers or the game impacting plays, do the guys still need to figure out how to get the job done when that's not happening?
Yes, because that's not going to be the case. But I think that kind of goes back to, hey, we better make sure, these third downs, we can nail them. We had a couple fouls that extended some drives, and I thought, not like you have to play a perfect game. No one ever plays a perfect game, but you got to play clean. You got to make sure those things can take care of themselves. And so that part, I was surprised that we didn't create some longer third downs for us to really allow some of that rush and pressure to take place.
Scott.
You've been head coach in this league. Blowouts like this don't happen to anybody that often. How much of your mindset is making sure, this doesn't really linger for your
Yeah,
guys?
I think a lot, and that's why, I was pleased to see that, there wasn't any fingers pointing elsewhere. It was pointing in the direction of what we want to get done, what we want to do in the meeting or at practice or something specific to work on. So, and you definitely want to make sure that that doesn't linger. It's okay to use the anger and the disappointment, but not where it goes on and on into the next phase, because your preparation, has to be on point each and every game going into it. So if you let this one go in and linger and wait, it would certainly affect your preparation. You better not be able to do that. So, but it definitely hurt. Like I said, you got 2 choices when you get your ass kicked, and pout about it, or they bring the next one on and get ready. And so that part I'm certain we'll do. But yeah, I was definitely bummed to have them have that experience.
Who's the defensive play caller? Lake's not there.
In the past, it's been J.K. and Malik Hooker. Those have been some that we featured into that spot. Sometimes in practice we'll rotate somebody different just to give them a go at it, like I've done it with Bell before. I don't want you to say anything. I just want you to hear it and listen. So if I do call you on this at one time, you'll know how that goes. But yeah, generally, if it wasn't able to be Leighton, then J.K. and Malik could be the others that do it.
J.K., how do you line up off sides?
I think just every once in a while, it can happen at any position. You lose a focus on one thing. There's emotion. You come down. You're ready to guard. And so, hey, trust me, no one's going to kick our ass more than we do ourselves. And whatever noise outside our building happens, trust me, it's plenty louder for inside and our standards for how we want to do things. So I think he'd be the first to tell you, he's more than disappointed and on that play.
Based on Houston's coach, did y'all want it too much? Did the team want the 49ers too much? There was so much talk about
yes.
this game.
Somebody asked me that question, can you have too much want to. And I think there can be. I don't know if I would say that in this case, because on each one you kind of want to go through the right process and the right going and let the game's intensity dictate that. But I thought coming in mindset-wise, we weren't over the top and going crazy. It was a focused way, and so I was really disappointed. But I don't think wanting it tue much, they should not play well enough on third down and those things. I think I didn't feel that guys were running, crazy and not with poise and calls and communicating. So I didn't feel a sense for that. But I recognize the question where you're at. I didn't see that with this group. Have I been a part of something that's happened before? Yeah, of course.
How do you get the most out of Wednesday's extra day in terms of using it to correct what you need, but also not sitting in too long in it, as you said?
Yeah, I think that's a good question, Mike. And the reason I say that is because I think when we lost Arizona, I wish we could have played Thursday. Wish we could have played Monday. Let's just play the next day. And in this case, I think it's probably better to have one more. We got some guys banged up that we want to make sure we're getting back and get ready and get our preparation going. Let's take what we need from this one and then fully transition into the game plan for the Chargers. And so I think each time's a little bit different now. I'll be honest, I'm glad it ain't a bye, okay, and that we get our, ready to go. But heading into it, you'll use a little bit to jump ahead, the personnel, who they are, how they're doing things, and with a team that you haven't played all the time. For the players, it's more about their matchups, and then as they get in and I kind of go through the game plan with them, they already have a feel for some of their guys and who they'll line up against. A lot of that will go on by the player. Hey, his hands are high when he punches, his releases are this, some things that they study on their own.
What's the dynamic of just the familiarity that exists between not only you with Kellen, but your entire defense with Kellen, and vice versa, just going into this next one?
Yeah, I would say not everything stays the same every year. So some of the things that, Kellen did here, he doesn't do exactly there. Some of the things I've done here in 21 and 22, we don't always do it exactly the same way in 23. New players, how do you add them? How do you feature them to go? So those would be some ones to go. Past that, I think for a player, no doubt about it, man, you're right in the game and your matchups and how you're going. So it's probably more towards him and I than any of the players.
Babe.
Dan, hope you're not offended by the question here, but
Are you about to say with all due respect and then come on? Yeah.
people
Doesn't
are
give you
saying-
free access to say this. Huh?
They are saying, no. So San Francisco is the only team in the NFL with 3 All-Pros at the skill position on offense. That doesn't include the quarterback and some of the fullback and all that stuff. But can you ever allow yourself to say, hey, they're just better than me?
Can you? I guess you could allow yourself. Would I know? But I would say, yeah, you recognize good players, but we've got some excellent players here too. And so that's also what lights me up and, why coaching this group is so much fun is that there is some excellent players. Now, we did not have an excellent performance, but we do have some excellent players. And, you don't get to prove that until you go against them again. It's not the next game. It's not just the next one. It's you have to be back in that environment against that team. And, we'll see what happens if that materializes in months down the line or not. And if it does, then we can have that discussion.
In Seattle and Atlanta, did you ever have a DB as your signal caller there?
In Atlanta, we had, but not in Seattle.
What did you get comfortable with?
I think Bobby Wagner, he was all, that was it. But I think there would have been a lot of guys who would have wanted it and who could have had it. Why was that here? It was more by the design of playtime early on, and so where we rotated late in some, and he wasn't all on third downs, where then it became where he was almost in all the packages, then he could go back and forth. When he wasn't in all, then third downs, I'd have to signal when he was that as part of the third down early, and so that was, precipitated the shift. It wasn't necessarily by a player. It was more by design of not having to use the signal when you didn't want to. And so if we have to go back the other way, most all the 3 safeties are guys who are always out there to go.
Thank you, Dan.
All right, you guys have a good one.
All right, y'all, I'm back, man. So that was Dan Quinn speaking about the aftermath of that ass whooping that we took in front of God in the entire country Sunday night. So that was Dan Quinn, his final thoughts about it. He said what he said. We're on to the Chargers. They're preparing for that. And like I said, man, it's a must-win game. So that was Dan Quinn and his thoughts about everything that transpired. So really, man, like there's really not too much that we can say. Like we got out physical, we got out schemed. Brandon Ayuk had 12 feet of separation according to the metric. So like we thoroughly got our ass kicked from top to bottom. They neutralized our run game. They neutralized our pass game. They ran on us. They threw for 4 touchdowns. Like they did whatever they wanted to on both sides and in every phase of the ball. So, Dan Quinn, you got to shake it up, man. I still think that Dan Quinn is an outstanding defensive coordinator. I still think he's an outstanding defensive coordinator. But, he got to be better. Ishmael said, I'm funny, man. Hey, I ain't lying. Like, listen, I do not be lying. I love my team, but when they be getting their ass towed up, they got their ass towed. I just got to let the world know that. But, we're just hoping that that's not the same outcome when it comes to Monday Night Football. You said, Henny, the last game gave me lactose intolerance. Man, listen. We'll figure it out. Said, give Curse the green dot. I wouldn't mind seeing Curse get the green dot again because he did it multiple times before. When Leighton Vander Esch initially went down, they gave him the green dot back then too. So I am not concerned about J. Ron Curse having a green dot. But with the way the teams have been running on us, I do think it's smart to have some bigger linebackers out there. It'll help. Might have some issues in coverage. But, obvious running scenarios, if they line up with a damn fullback or they line up in 21 personnel or they do whatever, I probably need another linebacker out there. I just need to have a little bit more size in there. Now, I don't mind J. Ron Curse having the green dot, but I still think and listen, that's another thing. Dan Quinn, like I love what you've been trying to do with the big nickel with all the safeties. I done seen you out there with 3 safeties. I done seen you out there before with 4 safeties. We can't sit in that shit all game. Like we cannot sit in that all game. Teams that want to be pass happy and everything else, yeah, I understand. Like maybe bring a big nickel in. But dog, like teams that want to run the football and they finna line up with a running back and try to run down your throat. Like get out of that, man. Get out of that. You get a little too cute sometimes. I think that's my main critique. Dan Quinn's inability to stop the run and him getting cute sometimes with some of his personnel decisions. Those are my only real critiques about Dan Quinn. Overall, I like him as a play caller, but that's rough, man. That's rough. Yeah, like you gotta get out of that big nickel sometimes, man. CD's frustrated. He is, but he'll be all right. If you're going to be a leader, we need you to lead, right? You can't wear the 88. You can't wear the 88 and not be a leader on the field. Now, don't get me wrong. There were plays where Dak Prescott missed them, and there were also plays where CeeDee Lamb did not get enough depth on his routes. There's also plays where he got locked up by a backup corner. Like both of those are true. Like Dak missed some reads and missed some throws, and CeeDee Lamb got clamped at different times. So like it was a combination of things. So I'm not gonna put it all on CeeDee Lamb, just like I'm not gonna put it all on Dak Prescott, just like I'm not gonna put it all on Tony Pollard, just like I'm not gonna put it all on Terrence Steele, because there were numerous people that had bad games. But I do think that we're a better team than what we showed. Yes, Luke really does have more drops than catches, He has 2 drops and 1 catch. Red zone catch at that. So he has a red zone drop. I forget where the other drop came, but he got 1 catch for a touchdown. Yeah, I think it's like 1 catch for a touchdown. I gotta go back and look at his numbers, but they weren't good for they weren't good. Yeah, man. His morale. Hey, if y'all play Madden, y'all know what my boy talking about. He said that he said his morale rate probably like a -32, man. But yeah, they got a bunch of things to clean up, man. They got a bunch of things to clean up. He said you pissed off with the 2nd round pick. He ain't really showed nothing up to this point. And that's really one of the things that we talked about, though, right? Before the draft. Like, everybody, y'all tried to sell me. Because, I was hot about Dalton Schultz leaving. I was. Y'all remember that. Y'all remember y'all told me he was a hot pocket and all the other stuff. We didn't need him. Well, I was hot about us getting rid of Dalton Schultz. And y'all talked me off the ledge. Like, man, Jake Ferguson can do it, bro. Jake and Hendershot. Jake and Hendershot, man, like, we got some. So, I was like, okay, I'll let them go out there and prove it. And what they do, second pick they had in the draft, took a damn tight end. Like, man, listen, Jake Ferguson, Hendershot ain't did nothing. Like, he been hurt, but he ain't did nothing. But Jake Ferguson, he played pretty good football. Like, I would give more snaps to I'll give more snaps to Ferg than I would Schoonmaker. Trey Fargo, he'll have to actually put up better numbers than Dalton Schultz first to be better. Like Ferg is good. I like what I'm seeing from Ferg, but he gonna have to actually put up better numbers than Dalton Schultz before I say he's better. That's just me. You over here talk to the numbers guy. You talk to the numbers guy. So Trey Fargo, that may be the case. I don't care. Hell, let them tell it. Dak Prescott turned down their contract too. They didn't stop them from signing his ass. Hell, let them tell it. Dak Prescott turned down multiple offers from them. They didn't say, "Ah, you can go." They franchise tagged. Like, you ain't going nowhere. Hey, Chase. Hey, man. I would prefer to have Jake Ferguson out there over all our tight ends. And that's another thing why the preseason injuries, man, don't sit right with me. Because I don't think we even look at our tight end room the same way if we had John Steven Jr. Oh, thank you, baby. I didn't realize you had went and filled it up for me. I appreciate you. She's up here trying to keep me hydrated. Yes, the flavor is blue. Blue is a flavor. Yeah, Gallup having some issues too, man. For as much as I showed him love for the other 2 games, he played well in Arizona. He played well against the Patriots. He did not play well this game. He did not play well this game. Hey, what's up with you, Matt? He said, how you doing tonight? I love Rashaan Evans. He a dog. Hey, I like him, man. I like him. And listen, Dan Quinn, like, the onus is on you, bro. Like, the onus is on you to put everybody in position to be successful. Like, we can clown Michael Parsons for how he played and him not playing well, right? But dog, you put him in position to get ran on like that. You put him in position to get ran on like that. he a 100 tackle guy. I like the boy though. So I can see the upside and why you would bring him in. He got a very good. Hey, it's show 5. It's show 5. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, man, I can see him. I can see him having a role, but it's going to be dependent of Dan Quinn putting him in position to be successful. Like you don't always have to leave Michael Parsons attached to the defensive line. You can move him. You can move him around. Move him back to linebacker at times. Right, move back to linebacker at times. Do whatever you got. Do whatever you got to do. Make them play fine Waldo with Michael Parsons. Because they got to play fine Waldo with Michael Parsons. They just can't run at him. Right, they just can't run at him, and you can save Michael Parsons pass rushing for the obvious, passing plays. For the obvious passing plays, you can unleash Michael Parsons, and when you still believe that there's an opportunity for them to run the football, just have him out there. So Evans wanted to be cut from the Eagles. I don't know how true that is, but we'll see. So we talked about Dan Quinn. We got his insight. We seen what he had to say in regards to the debacle out there in the Bay. Hey, the original people, I know you hide. You stay out there, man. You stay out there. I know you talk big boy shit the entire week. Like I know you talk big boy shit the entire week, man. So hey, I know you hot, my boy, but it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be Gucci. We shall prevail. He didn't have a good outing. Dak Prescott did not have a good outing, but it wasn't a playoff game. The beautiful thing about losing in week 5 is that you got 12 more weeks to play better football. But hey, Zaytoven, that's what we were just talking about, putting your players in position to succeed. Like Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn is seeing the same game that we're seeing. And Dan Quinn is saying, hey, I know that you're damn near at retirement age. I know you don't move the way you used to move. I know that you're not the same person you used to be, but I need you to pretend like it. That's not going to work. That's not going to work. If you got to play a little bit more zone to help Gilly out, so he can have some help, that's fine. That's fine. Like we could play more zone. We can play more zone. We can play more zone and bring some exotic blitzes from our fronts, just to help the zone out. We can do whatever. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, like Dan, I like Dan. I got love for Dan, but I feel like there are some things that he can be better on with the current. Yeah, I feel like there are some things that he could be better on with the current makeup of our roster. We lost Trayvon Diggs. We lost Trayvon Diggs, and now everybody's playing a different role. You probably just can't play cover one all day, right? Because you need two very good cover corners. Oh, cool. DP Johnson. What's up with you, man? He said Rashaan has been a Mike before. That's what I want from him. Hey, we'll see. Well, the beautiful thing, if we play the 49ers again, we would have earned it. If we play the 49ers again, we would have earned it. Because the only way you play the 49ers is if you get to the playoffs. They'll probably be like the 1 or the 2 seed. So, you probably have to win at least one playoff game. Yeah, what's up with you, Matt? Yeah, it's good, man. It's delicious. Sandwich man. The defense gave up points before Dak Prescott even stepped on the field. Defense gave up points before Dak Prescott even finished stretching. So, that sounds good in theory. But they went out there first and got their ass tore up. So I'm just saying, like, we find a way to always show love to the defense because the defense, is supposed to be the best unit on our team, supposed to be the big brother of the team. They went out there first and got punched in the mouth first. Yeah, landlord was live. Yeah, they went out there first, got punched in the mouth first. And then when offense went on an 11-play, 5-minute drive and cut the lead from 14-7, and they still turn around and let them boys score and extend the lead again. So what are we talking about? They gave up points before the offense got on the field, and then they gave up points after an 11-play drive by the offense that led into a touchdown. So we can't just keep giving the defense excuses. Like we can't excuse the defense getting their ass tore up. The game was over with when they threw 3 interceptions, dog. You were already down 18 points. The defense has already gave up 28 points by the time he threw his first interception. Let's not rewrite history about what happened. It was already over with, dog. He threw picks trying to throw you back into the game that the defense let get out of hand. Offense didn't help them much, but we ain't gonna just sit here and act like the defense was good. Like the score was 28-10 when he threw his first interception. That man was trying to throw a money ball for a touchdown through a pick. Like we're not gonna rewrite history. Like the defense got tore up the entire time. Yeah, he laughed about it. He like, fuck. Hey, sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying, man. He like, shit, they finna kill me in the media. They finna kill me in the media. I know they were Cud was thinking like, shit. He knew it was all bad. Cud knew it was all bad. But yeah, sometimes you gotta laugh to keep from crying, man. He knew that was a bad play. Oh, he had a horrible game. Like and listen, when I say stuff like that, I don't want y'all to think I'm trying to excuse Dak Prescott or the offense, because they were awful. But what I am not going to do is let the defense tell y'all they the new doomsday defense, and then give them an out and an excuse every time they don't play well. The New England Patriots won a Super Bowl 13-3. They offense ain't do shit for 4 quarters, and they still won a Super Bowl. They're not even that right now. If they need they're not even that right now. If they need the offense to do all this for them, just for this, so they don't give up 42 points. I'm sorry. You is not that kind of defense. If the offense, can't mess up and you get exposed, you ain't them. You ain't them, dog. Nah, you ain't them. Yeah, the kicker is the team MVP, man. The Dallas Cowboys did something good. Like, they found that kicker. That boy been sensational. I'm not gonna jinx him, but that boy hard, man. Thank God for Brandon Aubrey, man. Brandon Aubrey is probably the brightest spot on your team, because outside of him missing that extra point, that first extra point, he has been super great. So everybody show some love to Brandon Aubrey real quick, man. He deserves it. Yeah, Hank can play good too. Like there's like select people that play good. Tyler Smith has been sensational. Tyron Smith, when he's been available, has been exceptional. Zach Martin is still Zach Martin. I really ain't got nothing to say bad about Tyler Biadasz either. Really, the only person on my offensive line that I have a raised eyebrow with is the only person I got a raised eyebrow with on my offensive line is Terrence Steele. Matter of fact, what did Mozzie grade out is? Let me see, bro. Let me take a look, see how he played. So on the season, Mozzie has 2 tackles. For the season, he's graded out as a 43.8 overall, a 30 in run defense, and a 70.2 as a pass rusher. He has 2 tackles, 2 stops, 1 hurry, 1 quarterback, 1 pressure. He's played 42 snaps against the run, and 42 snaps against the run and 37 snaps as a pass rusher. This last game, San Fran, he played against San Fran this last game here. What's his grade? Ugh. So he graded out, I'm going to put it on the screen. I mean, yeah, people saying he ain't playing great, but he also ain't playing that much. Right? He only had 22 snaps. And bro, that's the most snaps he's had all season in the game. 22. He had 22 snaps. He played 14 against the run, 8 against the pass. Graded out as a 32.8 overall, 29.4 as a run defender, 66.8 as a tackler, 78.5 as a pass rusher. So Mozzie ain't played great. He ain't played great, but he also ain't played a lot. He ain't played a lot of football. Oh yeah, I ain't saying to throw Mozzie out. Y'all just asked the question. Like so far, he's not playing great football, but he's young. I'm not trying to throw him under the bus. You know, I'm just talking about what I'm talking about, cuz. Oh yeah, Tyron Smith played good football, man. Matter of fact, I can prove it. Don't trip. Give me a second. If that give me a second, I can go to the team. I can go to the team grades. Show y'all how everybody matched up as pass defenders and everything else. So this is how everybody pass blocked. He was your best pass blocker. So let me get this pulled up. I think I got the right one selected. All right, so Tyron Smith, 95 pass blocking grade, or 95 pass blocking reps so far on the season. Has graded out as an 86.3. Like Tyron Smith ain't gave up a sack, a hit, and only gave up 3 pressures all year. So yeah, he's been good. But let me see what he did in that game. That's really what I want to see. What he did in that game, what I really want to see. So y'all bear with me. Damn, I hate this thing. All right, game reports. All right, and it's still true. On the game, so this is Tyron Smith's stuff from the game. He graded out as a 74.3. He was your best pass blocker. Pass blocked 27 times, of course. Only allowed 2 hurries, 2 pressures. Yeah, he did great. He was your best. He was your best pass blocker. I see what y'all mean about Zach Martin. not having a great game. He allowed a sack, a hit, graded out as a 50.2. 2 pressures allowed. So yeah, maybe. Yeah, and that's always been my issue with. Apparently he did. I did not know because I got his ass whooped like that. I ain't gonna lie to you. But yeah, man, that's always been my thing about Tyron Smith, dog. Like, he's great when he plays. He just don't play a lot. Like, this was like his 20th game. This was Tyron Smith's 20th game in 3 seasons. His 20th game in 3 seasons. He don't play a lot of football. Now he is that dude. Yeah, he is that dude. When he plays, he just don't play a lot of football. But yeah, I like Tyron Smith, man. Make no if and buts about it. But he don't play. He don't play a lot of football. But he still like that when he plays. I didn't realize Zach Morton got towed up like that. I also was extremely stressed out during the course of the games. I'm up here snapping at family members like I'm pretty sure there's a bunch of stuff that I did not see. And also, this was traumatizing. I have not went back and watched this game again. Like, I'm not the Cowboys. I ain't got to watch this shit multiple times over and over. Like, they can watch this steaming pile of dog shit that they laid, and I can move on and prepare for the Chargers. All right. But let me go on over here. And let's see. Do you want to hear from Mike McCarthy? I'm only going to do one of these. Do you want to hear from Mike McCarthy or do you want to hear from Brian Schottenheimer? Because I gotta have a balance. I played one for the defense for y'all. I got to play one for my offense. So, y'all trying to hear from Mike McCarthy because he's the one that called the plays. Like, he's the one that called the plays. So, who going to take Turk? They say that Turk still might play, dog. Like, they say that there's still an opportunity for Kevontae Turpin to play. I just gotta wait and see. Big Benny Rich said Shotty. I got a Mike. NLZ said he want to know where Mike McCarthy effed up at. I agree. I sort of agree. They told him, yeah, like they said, they made it seem like it was worse than it was when they initially announced it. Yeah, Turk got an ankle injury. But from the way that they're acting, it actually seems like it's much less severe than they initially thought. Because Mike McCarthy said, Mike McCarthy says there's still an opportunity for that boy to practice. So I don't know. I'm gonna wait till they actually have practices and stuff, see what his injury designation is, and then go from there. They also said that Tyler Biadasz, who got rolled up on, is good too. They said he's good. He actually came back into the game. He came back into the game after he got hurt. He's good. They expect for him to play as well. I tell y'all what, I ain't gonna make y'all choose, man. I ain't gonna make y'all choose. We'll play them both. We'll play them both, man. We'll play them both. We'll play them both. So I'll start with Brian Schottenheimer, then we'll say Mike McCarthy for last. Because I gots to know what the hell they were thinking. I gots to know. I must know what was on these boys' mind when they went out there and they called the game that they called. Yeah, I wants to know. Y'all can't just play with my emotions. Hey man, y'all just can't play with my emotions and just walk away. You got to tell me what the hell went on. I got to know that this is going to get better. So here's Brian Schottenheimer.
David. When you look on yesterday's game, just the overriding issue or issues you weren't able to accomplish offensively that made it the sort of game that it was?
Well, I think overall, we're disappointed how we played, how we coached. You got to give them some credit. It's a good defense. We started slow. I think that's an area that we try to take a lot of pride in, moving the football early and going down and getting some points. And we've done that some this year when we've taken the ball. And really, when you watch the film, the one area that jumps out that we were not as good at that we've been recently was third down. I think we had 12 third and fourth downs. I think actually 8 of them are what we would call third and manageable, 6 or less. And we only converted, 4. And that's not our standard. That's not what we've been. And so when you do that, and then you look back and you see the time of possession, that's kind of where, the slow start, the inability to kind of get into a rhythm, get the drive going, that's one of the areas. But overall, we didn't play very well, and we need to be better. And got to get the guys better tools as a staff. And but again, you got to give them some credit too. They played well, and unfortunately, we weren't able to make enough plays to swing the thing and get the momentum going. I really felt after the long drive to get points to Terp. We hit Terp. I thought we'd get a chance to get going, and then we just couldn't get anything going in that 2-minute drive at the end of the first half. But a lot of really good lessons to learn from, and we'll go through it and make the corrections because there's certainly a lot of those to do. And I really believe you can learn a lot from games like this. I was sharing with the staff earlier. I was part of a team 2010 with the Jets. Played the Patriots on a Monday night in Foxborough, and we lost 45-3. A game that, when you kind of look back on it, felt a little bit like this game. We didn't play well as a team, and just couldn't get anything going. And the nature of the beast is you end up facing them about 7 weeks later in the divisional round, and we beat them 28-14. So that's his business. That's his league, and we know this is a team that. To get where we want to go, going to have to play them again. And a good football team, a lot of respect for them. But I think that just kind of shows the storyline of this business is you play a team like this, you play in these big games, and you don't perform very well. You can learn from it and grow, and expect you'll get a chance to see them again.
With what you were saying, Joe, I think you had only 6 offensive snaps, maybe 7 in the first quarter. When that happens as an offense, is it tough not to kind of feel you're chasing the whole game to kind of?
I wouldn't say you're chasing, just the rhythm's not there. When we've been, I think, again, I don't know the numbers, you guys can get access to them, but we've had more drives, I think at 10 plays or more than anybody in the league, and we kind of flourish in those situations because the ball gets distributed around, right? We get the ball spread to all the different people, we get the run game going, Dak gets into a flow a little bit. So you're never chasing plays. I mean, hell, we'd like to have some, 1 and 2 play touchdown drives. We hit big plays, and but again, I would say just the word that we never found our rhythm offensively yesterday. And again, some of that was, us not doing things we need to do, but some of it was, they did a nice job.
How just says Dak's play? I mean, the opening first third down, or opening throw of the game, he missed the tight end.
Yeah.
And obviously, it was a big third down. We threw short to the tight end.
Fergie.
I don't know if you wanted him to go to the sticks or what do you do? And obviously, there was late in the first half, he had a shot to Cooks that just went out of bounds. How did he play? What were they doing to take him away? Well,
again, I think, talked about a little bit the rhythm. Again, the first throw of the game was a little bit high to Scooney. Again, can tighten up his hitch there a little bit, but it sailed on him a little bit. Again, a play that at some point maybe Scooney makes, again, as he grows. We took a shot down the boundary to MG. They came in and they played us a bunch of press man-to-man, and so we took a shot down there to MG down the boundary, and wasn't, a whole lot of separation there. I think overall, notwithstanding the interceptions that happened late, he was solid. Nobody played great. Nobody coached great. Certainly not to our standard, but the score kind of got out of hand a little bit, and we understand that, again, our job is to score points. Our job is to take care of the football, and because of that, we're all responsible, because we certainly didn't do a good job of that with the fumble early, backed up. Fred Warner comes around, makes a great play, punches it out, put the defense in a really tough spot there. That can't happen. And then the turnovers late in the game, just that's not who we are.
Was he pressing late? I mean, I don't know if.
I don't think so. I think, he's a competitor. Again, the first interception, there's a little bit of leakage from the protection standpoint, so he has to throw the ball a little earlier than maybe he wanted to. and the next one was kind of a bang play on a slant, and then he never saw the guy on the last one. But to say he was pressing, I don't think so. Talking to him on the sidelines, he was in a good spot. We were all, I would say, anticipating when we were going to have a chance to find our rhythm, and hey, what's going to be the play that kind of sparks us and gets us going. But I would definitely say, having sat with a lot of quarterbacks over the years, he was not in a mindset where, I got to go make a play to help us win this game. That was not where he was wired.
Brian Toddard with ESPN. Could you tell CD's unhappiness during the game?
I think, the thing about CD is you feel his emotion, you feel his competitiveness. Obviously a great player. I don't think anybody was, real happy in that game. So I think I've shared with you guys before, some of the best players in the game, certainly the skilled players, you feel them. You feel when they want to help. That's what they're trying to do. They want to help. They want to make a play. So we knew that he was anxious to try to do things and make plays, and those are the things you just kind of try to talk through and talk about. And hey, it's coming. We just got to get ops. But felt it, but really it wasn't just CD. I mean, we felt it on the sidelines with us as staff, looking for answers, looking for solutions. And what tends to happen is you look back on those games and you're like, okay, there were a few plays there that, hey, we maybe missed a play here, an opportunity there. But, our job is to make sure we get CD going. He's a great player, one of the best I've ever been around. Just his ability to create separation, to create, with the ball in his hands after the catch. And so that's certainly something that we'll look at this week. But I would not want to have a lot of players that were happy after that game and during that game, because we weren't doing what we should have been doing.
Sajis of The Athletic. Brian, kind of a two-part question. The first 4 drives, three and outs and the fumble. How quickly did you have to toss the script to begin the game? And you were already down 14-0 by the time you got your first down. Did that change the script, and how many plays deep you go in and all that kind of stuff? Yeah,
you try to stay on the script. It's a great question. You try to stay on the script, and we did early on. We did have some what we call backed up field position where they punt us back. We were down there a couple times, one on the punt, and then when the defense caused the turnover. But I think we stayed on script pretty good. You try to not overthink it. You try not to. Now, they did play some more man-to-man. They came up and challenged us a little bit more. So, again, we were trying to get some crossing routes and things like that. That was probably the biggest adjustment. But in terms of the overall run game, we tried to stick to the script because from a defensive standpoint, they don't do a whole lot from a front structure. But the man-to-man was something that they had more success against us than I thought that they would.
Nick Harris, DallasCowboys.com. Obviously, there's pros and cons to every offensive system. When we're talking to Dak and the playmakers of the offseason, it was about simplifying things pre and post snap. But do you feel like that can kind of be a catalyst towards forcing things whenever you're trying to claw back into games at times?
I don't think so. I think every play is different. Again, we've got the ability to spread the ball around with good players. We've got plenty of play types. We've got QB movements. We've got action passes. We've got screens. I mean, I think you saw handful of things that we did yesterday that were good. We hit the screen to Tony late. I don't think so. I think our players play pretty free. I mean, I think you look at the first, first few games. I mean, when you're winning, it's easy. And when you're struggling to move the football and you're not getting the ops that you're used to, that's where you kind of got to, just, hey, take a deep breath. Hey, ebb and flow of the game. How's it going to play out? I thought our guys were great at halftime. There wasn't a whole lot of panic in their voice. We came out in the second half, put together a nice drive, went and got points. So I think, again, it's one of those situations where our players should play pretty free, but we also have to respond to adversity because there's going to be adversity. And it might be this week, it might be next week, it might be the week after that, but adversity is part of this game. It's a very humbling business. And, you think you're on top of the world, you think you're playing great, and you play an opponent, whether they're the best defense in the league or the 32nd ranked defense in the league, and they can humble you. And, again, we try to approach it no different based on who you're playing.
Mike McGuffey, Dallas Morning News. One time when you guys were backed up, you tried for Gallup down the right boundary, incomplete. Was there a potential spark opportunity there where he'd be able able to draw a little contact, work his way back to the ball, and potentially get a pass interference in that situation? Or did you see that sort of opportunity when you look back at that play?
Yeah, I mean, I like the call that Mike made. I think Dak liked the call. We were expecting one high, which they played. They tried to play a little bit more passive on the outside, but I thought MG did a good job kind of, getting on top of the guy a little bit, and the guy actually made a really good play. But I do like the call. That was a defense that when you're backed up like that, they fire their linebackers a lot. So we kind of felt like, hey, we got to take care of the edges, get a hat on both, which we did. We moved the tight end over there and hit him. But, of course, a play like that would ignite momentum. And there just wasn't enough of those plays, Michael, quite honestly, where we didn't do enough good things that sparked that momentum. And really outside the play to Terp, for the touchdown on the corner route, there wasn't a lot of plays that jumped out on film where, again, we gave ourselves that spark that maybe would have helped us go on and perform a little bit better.
Okay. Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News.
Hey, Calvin.
Obviously, you pointed out Dak's interceptions and some missed throws, but you also said he was solid. The fan base, they hear that, they go, where was he solid at, considering how you lost last night?
Sure. Well, again, when you say he's solid, you're looking at the entire game. You watch the touchdown pass to Cavante, right? We're getting edged a little bit. He gets hit. He stands in, makes a great throw. The pace operation, all that stuff was really good. Again, is anybody pleased with how we performed? No. Am I pleased how I coach? No. Is he pleased with how he played? No. Do we know we can't turn the ball over? But it was a solid performance. Can he play better? Will he play better? Yes. Can I coach better? Will I coach better? Yes, for sure. And we have the right type of guys in this locker room. We have the right type of guys on this staff that can take these lumps. And when you get beat like we did, look at it, learn from it, address it. We're not going to sugarcoat this stuff. We're not going to cover this stuff up and be like, hey, guys, hey, yeah, okay, hey, let's just move on to the next opponent. We're not wired like that. You point out the good, you point out the bad every week. And unfortunately this week there was a lot more bad than good. But again, our guys, especially Dak, are wired the right way. This is not going to change him. And we'll get right back to work after we watch this and get ready to play another really good opponent out there in California and bounce back.
Babe Loffmer, Cowboys Radio. Brian, I know it was a point in the game where you weren't going to be hitting 2-yard checkdowns, but the max protect, you go to Brandon up the left side. Was that designed to be inside? I mean, he's inside the numbers there, got an inside release. It makes it easy, obviously, for the safety to move over. So just the structure of that.
You talking about the first interception? Or the one that was completed out of bounds? Yeah.
Interception. Yes.
The interception, yeah. So, again, what we were trying to do, we were trying to get Brandon match up on the corner. We were trying to move the safety to get the safety to leave the middle of the field. And we kind of knew there was a point on the field that we wanted to place the ball, and the ball had to get up a little bit faster than we wanted to. And so we left it inside, which gave the safety the ability to get over there and make the play. But it was a design shot. And, again, obviously didn't work out the way that we wanted to. But as you guys know, I mean, again, there's a lot goes into making decisions back there. You've stood back there, you get that. But, again, overall we need to be better. He can't just launch a ball down the middle of the field. He's got a responsibility where he's supposed to place the football. We know that. But certainly we can protect. And, again, I think he had a guy coming off the edge, and then the three technique was looping inside that forced him to get it up maybe a hair quicker and not be able to move the safety as much as we wanted to.
You said the Niners had more success playing man than you thought. Do you anticipate seeing more of that going forward?
Of course. Yeah, of course, absolutely. It's a copycat league. Everybody looks around and they see it. But again, I think that our guys have the ability to certainly beat man to man at a high level. And once you put that on film, which I think we will, then we won't see it for a while. And after we hit Terp, they did adjust, and he went back to more zone. So we hit Turpin on the touchdown. We're in a little bunch set, switch release, got Terp free. And, again, it's a constant game of cat and mouth. So he went back to zone there for a while. But, again, give them credit. They did some good things against us. And, but I would expect that we'll definitely see some more man-to-man.
On the deep ball to Brandon, that was caught but out of bounds. Does momentum take Dak in that throw?
Yeah, it's a hard throw. You know, he's off the spot. He's moving to his left. It's a freaking launch of a throw. And, you know, running hard to your left, he's trying to flip his hips because he has to throw it so far. And just the momentum took it out of bounds and missed it by, you know, a couple feet.
Patrick. Hey, bro. Patrick Walker, DallasCowboys.com. Kind of keeping to Brandon Cooks and just that variable in your offense. The point that Todd made as far as the deep crosser, I mean, you got a great advantage there because you had Fred Warner, although he's Fred Warner, still a linebacker trailing Brandon Cooks. So there are times in the 4 games you've had Cooks on the field where you see him getting separation, you're getting him schemed up well. But from a coaching standpoint, is there anything readily identifiable as far as why he's not been able to kind of explode yet in your offense?
Yeah, you know, again, I can't put my finger on just one thing. I think we're definitely getting into a rhythm with him. I think Dak in here finding a rhythm. You know, we want to get him touches. Like I think, you know, we got the ball on the perimeter with him with the run. Like we're learning Brandon. He's a new piece that we're excited about. And we're close. You know, I mean, we're close on the play that Babe was talking about that's out of bounds, or, you know, just, you know, the ball gets pushed a little bit wide. We're learning his speed. We're learning the way that he can affect the game with and without the ball. And again, just like we talked about with MG, it comes in bunches, you know. And again, limited ops yesterday certainly hurt us, and we caused those limited ops because we couldn't, you know, we didn't do a good enough job on third down. But when you've got the 33, 34 minutes time of possession, which is what we've been averaging, then the ball gets distributed around to more and more people. Unfortunately, in this game, it didn't play out that way. And but Brandon's a guy that his speed, his athleticism, his demeanor is awesome. You know, he's just great communicator, comes over, gives us great feedback on how they're playing and what they're doing. So that, from a coaching standpoint, is, you know, you really do appreciate that. Because, again, bottom line is, you know, we see it, but those guys feel it. The players feel it. Like, they know what's going on, and they've got the best sense of how they're being played. And he's awesome. When he comes over and gives you feedback and then you go look at it on the Microsoft Surface, it usually is dead on.
You use the extra day this week to reflect and evaluate, or to look ahead?
No, absolutely, yeah. I mean, like I said, I've probably seen the game from last night probably 5 or 6 times. Again, look forward to getting a chance to, you know, get it cleaned up and emphasize that. You know, we always start with ourselves first. And, hey, what do we need to do better? Okay, let's look at the third downs. Hey, let's look at the self-inflicted wounds. Let's look at the turnovers. Like I said, we're not going to shy away from any of that. Just like, you know, when you win games, you know, you don't just, you know, fast ahead. You point out the successes, you point out the failures, and, you know, we will spend a good deal of time on this film because it's important, and it's not the standard. And if you don't make those corrections and you don't have those open dialogues with the guys about what we can do better offensively, what we can do better as a staff, you know, and get that feedback from each other, then, you know, you're destined to kind of repeat that. So we'll spend a bunch of time on it, and then the extra day does help with that because you can spend more time on the game. And then once we're done doing that, we'll put it to bed and get ready for the Chargers.
Michael, you finally had an opportunity to get your offensive line together. That was Tyler Smith and Tyler Smith. First chance to work side by side in a game. It's one thing to have practice reps together, another to have game. How do you feel that where that is and where it has potential to grow?
Well, it was great, number one, to see them all out there together. That's for sure. Again, I don't think that many plays is a test of where they can do. I thought they played well in some regards. Other areas not so well. Nobody should feel great about the way we played, but it was nice to see those guys out there. I thought they all flashed certain things, like a couple bull rushes that they brought on Tyron, and you can see him kind of, they get into his chest a little bit, and you watch him, he kind of traps them. So they're bull rushing him, they're knocking him back, they get his hands inside, and just he's so big and strong, he kind of traps him and knocks him off. But again, those guys being back and working is huge for us because there is a nonverbal language that goes into what they have to do, passing off games and communicating things. And, you know, the negative is practice doesn't feel quite as fast as the game sometimes. So the more and more reps we can get them in the games would be great.
Babe. I laughed about the Tyron thing. I don't know if I've ever seen anybody better.
It's really impressive. Yeah, you guys should watch it. It's something that young players don't do. They don't have the experience of it. So like I was explaining, you set these guys and they feel the set, so it's called speed to power. So they transition from a speed rush, and they're like, okay, he's soft setting me. Let me go to my power move, and they put their hands on their chest, and sometimes we end up getting a little wide. So one response you have as a tackle is you trap them. You knock their hands off, and their momentum makes them fall to the ground. He did it 2 or 3 times in the game, and it's just a cool skill set that he's acquired over the years that, again, defensive linemen see that, and they're a little bit apprehensive about going speed to power. So it's cool technique.
On the Cook's talking about feedback and the good feedback he gives you, is it an ongoing process for you to figure out these guys' personalities? Because as you know, they all come over, I'm killing my guy, and then you look at the film and they really weren't killing the guy.
Yeah, for sure. Again, like I said, they're all competitors. You love that. There are some guys that say, oh yeah, I was wide open. And you look at it, you're like, right here? Right here? Well, yeah, no, it's a bad angle. It's earlier, before that. Go back. Yeah, I am. But again, he does a great job, and real poised. You just watch him; he's real poised, and he gives great feedback. But yeah, that's part of the puzzle is learning the guys, and we all know they want the ball, but there's some guys that give you a little bit more accurate assessment of what happened out there on the field.
Alrighty, thank you, Brian.
Thanks, guys.
All right, man. I'm back on here. So that was Brian Schottenheimer, our offensive coordinator, and that was what he had to say about the Dallas Cowboys offense, what they were looking at, what they were seeing. And listen, he talks very well at the microphone, but I don't feel like they made enough adjustments. Yes, yes, there were people getting open at times, but you need to help when you see your quarterback struggling, or you see that you're having trouble protecting, or you're seeing the way that the defense is playing you is a little bit different than what you expected. You got to adjust much quicker. Like, don't wait until you're back on the sideline, look at the tablet. Trust your gut, trust what your eyes is telling you, and make the adjustment on the very next play. If they went man this play and they're still in man, and attack it. Like, there was no reason for our corners to struggle the way that they did when they played single high safety, man to man across the board the entirety of the game. And let's be honest, we know what Dak Prescott is great at. Dak Prescott is elite in play action. He's very good under center. He recognizes plays at an elite level pre-snap. So I really want them to utilize some more motion. I really want them to utilize more play action. It should not have been the third quarter before we saw a screen pass. Like, one of the things I was super happy about in regards to the Dallas Cowboys this year was their willingness to throw screens. They used to throw a bunch of screens. And the beautiful thing about a screen pass is it's basically an extension of the run game. You knew coming into this matchup you would not really be able to run the football effectively against the 49ers front, right? You don't really want them to do that. So if you can't have a standard run game, you can supplement that run game with the screen pass. They didn't really do it that much. That's something that I did expect to see from them, because we've seen it all year up until Sunday night. Right, so I don't know where the screens went. I don't know really where the play action passing went. I don't know where the motion was. So they have some things that they can fix. And the beautiful thing about it is, man, it's not like the West Coast offense is broken, because we just got our asses kicked by the West Coast offense. The 49ers run West Coast. Kansas City run West Coast. When Aaron Rodgers with LaFleur in Green Bay, they were running West Coast, right? Sean McVay runs a version of the West Coast offense. You just have to be better in your play calling, in your play structure. You got to utilize some more motion. You got to run the football. You got to do things to modernize your West Coast offense. And I think we spoke on this, at great length, during the last show, as to why some of the things didn't fall into place. It didn't work the way they should have. But let's see. We're going to play this other video, though. But I need y'all to help your boy out, man. Make sure y'all continue to hit that like button. Make sure y'all continue to hit that share button. Make sure y'all continue to slap the one Charger fan that you may know, because I know they ain't got no fans like that. So slap up that soul Charger fan that you know. And also, man, make sure that you hit that Cash App or that Super Chat, man, for an opportunity to win one of these prizes. So we're still raffling off 3 different prizes in the liquor store, man. We're giving away a copy of Madden 24. We're giving away a Dallas Cowboy jersey, the winner's choice. And we'll also be giving away a Dallas Cowboys bobblehead. So if any of that interests you, or you just want to support the content, you want to help your boy Henny out so we continue to grow the platform, hit the Cash App. It's $Hennythemoor, $5 an entry, or hit the Super Chats or the Super Stickers. But with all that said, though, man, let's go ahead and continue on. We already heard from Dan Quinn and his feelings on the game. We already heard from Brian Schottenheimer, our offensive coordinator. Let's hear from our head coach before we get out of here, man. Like, I got to know what the hell Mike McCarthy was thinking. Because, listen, Brian Schottenheimer, I can't really say his scheme is bad because Russell Wilson threw 40 touchdowns in this scheme. Russell Wilson threw 40 touchdowns in this scheme. That's his career high. Right? Same scheme. He threw 40 touchdowns in it. But as we know, Brian Schottenheimer is not calling the plays. So while I am mad at the way the offense performed, and he is technically the offensive coordinator, I do need to know what the hell Mike McCarthy was seeing out there to call up some of these plays, why we went away from a lot of the things that actually worked from these last couple of games. So let's hear it from Mike McCarthy. Hey, thank you, Matt. I appreciate you for showing love, my guy. But yeah, let's hear it from Mike McCarthy. Because it was cool to hear from Brian Schottenheimer. But like I said, Mike, you're the play caller. You're the play caller. So let's see why you call some of this shit. Let's see why you call some of this. So here he is. There he is. There that boy go. All right, there we go.
Mike, David Moore, Dallas Morning News. Before we get the main injury update from you, can you just talk about after a game like that, is there a concern, or are you wary at all about how your team will respond when it's that sort of a loss?
Well, I would not say I'm concerned or worried at all. I think these are opportunities to grow, no doubt about it. I mean, I think adversity gives you a tremendous look inside and makes you answer more questions and to make sure you got the right answers.
And as far as the 3 main guys in Van Der Esch, Goodwin, and Turpin, if you could update us on that.
Yeah, I think Terp, just the early diagnosis on Terp, I think he'll, with us having the Monday night game, we'll treat Thursday like a Wednesday. So I think we'll know more then, but I think he definitely has a chance to practice this week. But both CJ and Leighton are, we're still collecting all the information, but definitely looks that potentially going to IR.
Both players.
Correct.
On Leighton, can you just talk about is it the same neck injuries in the past, or?
Well, I mean, it's an injury to the neck, so obviously, high caution is in place here, and so I know as I left the meeting earlier, he was headed for another appointment.
And you're in the linebacker, obviously. Just can talk about the potential and who would call plays or anything like that.
Yeah, we're not there yet. Obviously it's fresh getting back late last night, so those are things that. Frankly, I'll go from here to Will's office, but in our personnel meeting, we touched on some potential opportunities. But I think like anything, we just got to make sure we have all the information before we head down that road.
Mike Todder with ESPN. You talked after the game about you didn't run the ball as much as you wanted or give him any opportunity as you wanted. What were the issues on first down for you guys? I think it was 1.9 yards per play.
Well, I think like anything, I mean, as you cut through the tape and you cut through the third downs. I mean, we were 2 for 6 there in manageable third downs. So, I definitely felt like we were in position to continue to be effective on third down. So we did not get that done. But, when you don't get when you're not, converting third downs, obviously, your first and second down opportunities go down. So, and that's where your ability to have balance in a run and pass exists. So, but I think just like anything, we were all frustrated, coming out of that game, during the game. I know I was personally too. So it was a difficult game. They played extremely well. You give them credit, but we didn't play to our level that we had played at the first 4 weeks. So that's why you take the time. Just with getting back as late as we have, we're going to take Wednesday and take the emotion out of all this and make sure we go through it and make sure all the answers are there in place for our players. Because it's our responsibility, as leaders, as coaches, as game planners, decision makers, to make sure we're giving the players the tools to be successful. So, and then we'll pick up Thursday on like a normal week. So that's the outlook moving forward.
John Michaud, the Athletic. Like, when you look back at the game, how, in really the last 2 weeks, how do you guys get CD more involved?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, CD, trust me, no one wants him to touch the ball more than I do. So, I mean, CD's an impact player, has been for us. So, I think all those things are very fair questions, and we're having the same conversations. But at the end of the day, too, we gotta kind of remain some balance in our offense, because that's when we're at our best. But definitely, CD he's a premier player, and that's how I view him, and that's our responsibility to make sure he has opportunities to make impact plays.
Side,
The Athletic. Mike, you've only been here for 3-4 years. A lot of players, same time span. When you look at kind of the pressure that comes with this organization that predates your time here and stuff, how do you make sure that a disappointment like yesterday doesn't weigh down people, players, coaches, by expectations that, are almost 3 decades long at this point?
Well, I think it's an excellent question, and I think just like anything, experience, and I've been very, very fortunate to work in this league a long time, and it is extremely difficult each and every week to win a game. We all understand that, but you learn through probably more the lows than the highs to make sure that you are consistent. I think it's important as a leader to be extremely consistent in your approach, in your language, your messaging, and everything that you do. So, but yeah, I like to think I'm a lot more conscientious on, where the staff is amongst the players, because I think we do an excellent job of making sure the players are, the rest and recovery, and make sure you're hitting the targets of how we train and so forth. But you definitely got to be mindful of your staff also. Skyler Dixon with the AP. How do you try to fix getting off to such a poor start in a big game when you thought it looked pretty good in a couple of 3 days before the game? We didn't start very well, and that's obviously, I think it's been a strength in the first month. I think your ROI is something I truly believe in. We all have the same amount of time to prepare each and every week, so where do you put that time? And we have been strong starting games, as a football team, and it definitely was not the case last night. So I think just like anything, that's part of the accountability, seeking continuity and the consistency of how you train and building off that, and because I do believe in the process of how you emphasize the beginning of the game, the end of the game, the amount of time that we put in there, the importance of the last series, of the first half, the first series of the second half. So I think it's just like anything. You keep working on it, and you trust your evaluation process.
Babe Loffenberg, Cowboys Radio. So Mike, after a game like that, obviously it's a dissection of the negative of what happened, but when you looked at it, did you see anything positive either from the position group or the individual players?
I mean, yeah, definitely. There's always positive plays, moments, without a doubt. I think really, the disappointment is, in the consistency of play, and I think,
number one, you always start with your self-inflicted wounds. You know, we had too many pre-snap penalties again that affected drives. So, and that's, you know, that's not the first time it's happened this year. So, you know, that's definitely something that needs to be continued to be addressed, emphasized, and because we need to be better there. Because, you know, we're making it harder on ourselves. You know, without, you know, dealing with the competition of the opponent. So, but yeah, I think, you know, there's always good things that come out of losses. It just doesn't feel very good, obviously, standing up here right now. But yeah, there's things that we can continue to build off of.
Calvin Watkins, Dallas Morning News. After 5 weeks, what's your offensive identity right now?
Identity? Yeah, I think just like anything. I mean, when I look at the 5 weeks of offense, you know, I just think that we've been in a different range of games. You know, because I was thinking about it even after I talked to the team last night, and it's been on my mind because I just believe in, you know, consistency and continuity is so important in everything you do in this league. Because, you know, it is difficult, you know, and deal with the highs and lows. But when I look at our 5 games, you know, we've had 3 lopsided wins. You know, we had a tough game on the road that, you know, kind of got away from us that we fought back in, and then we had last night's game. So I think, you know, with that, you know, the identity of the offense is clearly you want to have some, you know, balance, you know, throughout how you play. You know, ball distribution, I think, has been you know, 4 out of 5 games. I think we definitely hit the mark. But I think when you get into games, I know when you get into these games, you know, you got to get touches to certain individuals. So I think we clearly can be that. So yeah, I like a lot of things that we've done, you know, outside of last night offensively. I mean, because, you know, outside of the red zone, we've definitely hit the mark. When we started this, you know, this offensive approach back in April, you know, I just think it's a matter of who do you want to be and who do you think you are. You know, I coached the team for a lot of years that it was offensive driven, and but this team's about defense. You know, let's make no bones about it. And that's not a slight against the offense. We want to score as many points as everybody, and we're not, you know, playing not to lose. So don't mix the message here. But we play to our defense. You know, that's a strength of our team. And by doing that, you know, the time of possession, taking care of the football, those are 2 things that, you know, I thought improvement from past years the first month. Clearly was not last night. You can't win games. You give the ball away, you can't win a game. I mean, let's be honest about that. So that's when the game got out of control there in the second half. So we got to take care of the ball. We got to continue to go the long way when we have to. But more importantly, I think we can do more as far as creating opportunities for big players or getting the ball specifically where we want it to go.
Mike McGill, the Dallas Morning News. Along those lines, it's difficult to play your defense when you're having the lack of early down offensive success that you guys had last night. It didn't matter if it was run or pass. You just couldn't really get anything going on first down. What do you count that lack of success?
Well, I think when you say not get anything going, I mean generating first downs on first and second down. So. Yeah, because we had, really, I thought our biggest failure was third down. You know, we had favorable third down situations that we didn't convert, you know. And the first 4 weeks of the season, you know, we were best in the league at converting. So, I mean, you know, I'm not going to, you know, sit up there and beat their drum, but they played very well. They played to their tape that they put on video the first 4 weeks. We did not. And, you know, our strength as an offense has been third down. And it was not a strength last night.
Coach Nicole Edison with Dallas Cowboys Media. You talked about accountability, how you want to see everyone pretty much take accountability for yesterday's loss. Just how have those conversations been like with some of your guys, if you have had any so far?
Well, I think it's like anything. You know, I believe in education, application, and regulation or evaluation, which way you want to look at it. And that's what Monday's for. We'll extend this evaluation process into Wednesday because we have time. And I think it's important to take the emotion out of it for this one. So I think it'll give us an opportunity for more clarity and understanding. And same breath, make sure we're prepared. I did not want to rush through the corrections today. So then there was a lot going on as far as the weight room and getting that part accomplished, and also your medical process. So, and I just think like anything in evaluation, when you're seeking accountability, you got to ask all the right questions, and you got to make sure that the answers to the questions are, that whether you disagree or you agree, at the end of the day, you just can't be disagreeable as we move forward as a group. So that's always been our approach, and it's no different for this week.
Mike, Dak yesterday mentioned that, keeping the focus in the room and all that kind of stuff. For the young players that you have that might be a little bit more online or whatever, do you tell them not to read stuff, not to see what's going on social media or things like that after a game like that?
I mean, those days are over. I think there was a day as a head coach in this league that may have come out of my mouth, but it does not today. Social media is a part of the everyday life. Having teenagers, I understand that on a personal level. So, yeah, I just think it's like anything else. These are grown men. They're heavily involved. They've grown up in this generation. So, I just think it's like anything is. We always talk about, make sure you control what you put into your body, and it's no different than your mind. So that's the only suggestion I would give them.
Skyler. Two-part question. The health of Tyler Biadasz, who went out and came back, how's that in the rest of the offensive line?
Still working through it, but I think Tyler's going to be, hopefully he'll be available this week.
And how long do you think it would take that group, if they do get to stay intact, to kind of where they need?
I think it's an excellent point, because I do like to look at the group. I thought there were some things that we did well. I think there's some things that, moving forward that I can highlight more for them. And I just think like anything, Tyler Smith and Tyron Smith, how many combination blocks have they worked on yet? Not a whole lot. So we got work there, but it was great to have all five of those guys out there.
Clarence. Getting back to the defense, you talked about you playing to the strength of the defense. What were they doing yesterday? Because, the interception didn't come until after it was 28-10. And so what did they do to take advantage of your defense yesterday?
Well, we talk about which interception you talking about? You talking about our takeaway or their takeaway?
That's why the interception didn't come until after the score was 28-10. I'm saying, what were they doing to have so much success?
Well, I think some of the things were, when you get into, they clearly won the field position battle. I mean, that's, that's product of as us on offense not moving the ball. But I think they had some extended series. Whether it's penalties. I thought they, for the most part, they've been highlighting McCaffrey, a tremendous amount leading up to this game. When I look at the numbers, I thought our guys did a nice job on him as far as the focal point. But the things that they did off of that, they were able to hit on some big plays. And I just think there were some opportunities that we had that just didn't quite cash in. I thought the play on Dono was that's a tough one. You can see he's trying to go in there with his shoulder, and I don't get caught up in those types of play. But when they go the other way, sometimes it's difficult to overcome. I think that clearly those are plays when if those are opposite early in the game, maybe the game goes in a different direction. So, and that's why we make such a big deal of the big play opportunities. We were -2 big play, production in the first half. That game was closer than it actually felt in some ways, because they obviously controlled the time of possession in the field position. So I thought our defense did a good job of kind of hanging in there, and then it got away from us there in the third quarter.
Dave. Like, I know a lot of coaches are big believers in gauging an athlete's body language and how it is during the game. Understanding you're calling a game, you don't have a lot of time for that during the game, but is that something you pay attention to, especially in a loss like this, to see what a player's body language is and how he's interacting with his
Absolutely. Teammates? No, absolutely. Had a great visit with CD today, and I'll just say if he's not pissed off that he's getting the ball, then I'm pissed off at him for not being pissed off. I mean, he's an impact player. I mean, he should feel that way. But I just think, like anything in life, how you handle things and how you you move forward. Is how you affect others. There's so many things good things that can come out of that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, fully aware of it. And it was frustrating. It was frustrating not doing your part. In offense, and I felt that I felt frustration also as a play caller.
Mike, are your receivers getting enough separation?
Well, that's this game. There's definitely moments where we can be better, and it's something that we fully anticipated. I know, just looking at the tea leaves and everything, they played a lot of vision zone going into the game. We spent the end of the week just really anticipating man, because we felt that it was going to be a combative game all the way through, even particularly on the perimeter. So, but that's something definitely that we'll be focused on.
That it? Great. Thank you.
Thank
Mike.
you.
So that was Mike McCarthy and his final thoughts. Now we know what the brain trust was thinking. So they said what they said, but we're onward to the Chargers. Because I know everybody is upset. I see y'all in the chat box talk about blow up the team, and y'all are forgetting we're 3-2. We're 3-2, not 2-3, not 0-4, not 0-5. We're 3-2. We're favored in this game. We usually win when we're favored. We're probably 4-2 going into the bye. So listen, it sucks. We had a horrible letdown, but we gotta move on at this point, because Dallas Cowboys are still a good team. Still will probably win 11, 12, 13 games. Look at the schedule. You don't really play no juggernaut. You're still a playoff team. So what you need to be focusing on right now is improving your team, in his words, building continuity, and being a better team than you are right now going to week 18. Trey Fargo, what's up, man? Yes, he is expected to play. He said he'll play. He said there's a 99% chance he's going to play. I mean, we only played one playoff team to our knowledge at this point, right? I mean, the Chargers are a playoff team. Are they not going to be a playoff team? So is it not going to matter if we beat them? If we play the Eagles and beat the Eagles, are they not a playoff team? Is it not going to matter? See, the issue is we got our hopes and expectations, lifted up for this 49ers game, and we got let down. And it's okay. But you play more playoff teams down the line. You have more opportunities to prove yourself. So as it stands, move to 4-2 and see what happens there. So we will see what happens. So yeah, man. So I know, and listen, we're off it. We're not talking anything else about the 49ers. The game is over with. We're not finna hang on to this shit for the rest of the year. It's over. We're talking nothing but Chargers for the rest of the time. Nothing but Chargers for the rest of the time. And, that's how we move. But, hey, we've been on here for damn near 3 hours, man. That boy, Boss Cowboy, got a show. If y'all still in the need for more Dallas Cowboy content, make sure y'all spin the block and y'all go over there. Right? Y'all swing the block. Y'all go over there. Show Boss Cowboy some love. Represent. He'll put on a good show for y'all good people, man. But yeah, man, I'm finna go parlay, relax. Got work in the morning. So God bless all y'all good people. I appreciate y'all for taking time to rock with your boy. We've been on here for damn near 3 hours, and there's still over 50 folks on the show. So thank y'all for supporting. And I will see y'all next time around, man. Peace, God bless, and I will holler at y'all.